Yesterday we went through gateway and we understand gateway can act like a mediator, single point of contact for all front ends to back end or usually back ends to front ends. When we want to give access of our back ends, we do configure back ends into gateway and the gateway URL we shared with the clients, either it is a front end client or any REST client. So they would able to call via gateway. So the gateway can do lot of operations here as it will behave like a filter between your client request and backend request. Any filter operations if you want to perform also here you can perform that. And lot of problems also it is shorting out basically in microservice as we continuously work on new microservices, continuously we increase our applications. It's not possible always to share all our application URLs with front end, maybe due to the security reasons. If you don't want to share the backend subdomain URL or the usually subdomains also not required. For few applications, they will use subdomains. They will mask host and port. Few directly will configure the host and ports. Uh, in case if you don't want to mask it, in such scenarios, you need not to share your backend complete host URLs to the front ends. You can configure them in gateway and one single point of contact, one gateway URL you can share with the front end team so that they would able to call the gateway. Gateway would able to route your request to required backend. So that routing we saw from the gateway example. So we had a gateway here and all the routings we have configured here and so whenever the request matches from the front end with product service, then we redirect it to this 9090. There we have the actual service was running and actual service is running in port 9090 and this service we started in 9091. So no, uh, no, not required, not required. ID is a identifier. That's it. For this configuration, this is an identifier. Okay, yeah. When you use okay, even you if you use load balancer also this is a simple ID identifier only. Okay, just to not repeat the configuration again. And yesterday we see the problem with gateway was working, no issue with the gateway, na? The port number not properly picking up. That is what we see the difficulty. No, no, 9091 via 9091 it hit it. Let me show you. See, the problem is we are overriding with this command line argument. That's why I didn't know when I configured it, but yeah, I thought the Jetty, as you said, right, using it, but that is not the case. We have given this override parameters in the argument server.port 9091. That's the reason it is not respecting the one which we given here. Now you can try 500. This is your gateway port, and during running it, you can remove it and start run configurations. Argument. This argument was disturbed. Okay, now run it. Your gateway must start. So the gateway is getting started. Now via gateway we need to make calls. We created two services, right? One service that we try to execute it is product service. when somebody requests with the product service slash the URL, it should redirect it to this 9090. Instead of sharing this 9090 URL, now we will share 5000 URL to them. Okay, run this product service. Where do we have here? So when we call URL product services slash product slash get all products, it will just return this products list what we have here. You can call localhost 90 service get all products. So it is giving all the products 9090. Yeah, 9090. No, now directly calling product service with 9090. This is like you are calling from your front end to back end service directly. Front end to your back end service. This is not, yeah, no, we will do that. So here we should not do this, okay? So for that reason, we used, what do you want to see? 9090. Ah, so gateway is running in 50. Hello, why 9091? Acha. See again, we did configurations twice here. Application properties are getting override with the YAML. YAML properties are getting overridden here with application properties. Yeah, so that's the reason. Yes, it is actually clubbing both and overriding 5000 with 909. So that's the reason it worked there. I was surprised why it is working. Yeah. Now see, it should started in 500. Now it is 5000. Okay. So 5000. Now you can see. Instead, we given host of product service, we given host of gateway. Now via gateway URL, you are able to access it. So you can be a third party client or any web client. You can able to call this via 5050. When you call it, it will hit 9090 service. Get all products which is running. Same thing with the customer service also. Hmm. I didn't get you. Acha, okay. Context means your application name. Okay. Yes, they are in simple expression. URL, if you change, I don't know uh, whether it will be, it won't map actually. The sub URL which is coming, it will be up. Yeah, it will be taken appended here. Yeah, yes, just just up to host path we are giving, host and port. Yeah, up to host and port we are giving. If host is changing, you can change. Okay, versioning something like that. Maybe you can try here after. Try to append some extra additional URLs and see how this mapping works. Okay. For now, whatever mapping coming here with product service, that it can able to append after your host and try able to execute it. This path, I think it is appending here after their host, right? Logically, what is happening after 500 product service slash product slash get all products is coming, right? Same thing it is appending with your this host and trying to executing it internally. So just wildcard we put here to say whichever product service, as gateway is common for all the applications, you may say context path. If this with this context, if anybody request, with this context, if anybody request, bring them to 9090 port. So all the requests which are coming from product service will take and redirect to this 9090 with same URL. Apart from the host and port, the remaining URL it will cut and paste here and it will redirect your request from here. We should see. I'm not sure, but maybe filters are available here, right? uh, Through filters you may modify. Obviously there should be a way in case if you want to do, because the filter chain object is giving, exchange object is giving, there should be a way. If you can try, you will find it. There should be a way, I think. If you want to specific URL, if you want to configure and wanted to redirect. Okay. Now, yeah, we have configured one service only here, product service, and the other service is running in 9080 customer service. So let me run customer service also. Customer service, let me give the proper data, customer name, let's say email and address. Source, getters and setters. Customer dot set email. Customer dot status. Okay. So this application is running in 9080. So this is the URL, customer service slash customer slash get all customers. Customer service 9080. 80. Yeah. So it is giving all the customers from 9080. It should be able to map via gateway also. So now if I request via gateway, it is able to call customer service as well. This data is coming from customer service. This data is coming from product service. But both are mapped via gateway only. As a customer, if you are a customer who is using this products information or who is seeing the customer information, you don't know about the host which is running in the backend. Actually, you always know this 500 host only. So your request will come to 500 host. From there, the request will be redirected to your microservices, backend microservices. So you need not to give the complete path of your backend microservices to front ends. You can hide them, and in case if you want to execute any security operations, you can execute them first before taking request to your backend service. If something is wrong, you feel here, you can block the request here in the gateway itself, and you can send error back to the user. And not only that, it will provide you load balancing support also. Via Eureka, we can configure load balance also. Let's say you have backend service which is running in multiple ports. Consider product service. I want to product service. Now it is running in 9090, right? So I want to make it available in three ports in case if 9090 is busy, I want to take it to 9091. If 9091 is busy, I want to take it to 9092. Okay. So dynamically, I want to identify that which is free and which is busy. Based on that, I want to switch load to available port. As product service is getting lot of requests, I thought of having one single host with one port is not sufficient. So I am running in the same host three ports. You can use three different hosts and three different uh, ports up to you. Now you can configure this. You can configure this into your gateway. Here earlier we configured only one host here 9090. Via load balancer you can configure as many as you want here. Via load balancer we can do that. How we do that? Instead of putting this path complete path here, now what you need to do, you need to put load balancer path. You need to add load balancer path here. Just let me comment it. Load balancer Eureka we will use load balancer slash your application name you should give here. App name in load balancer. Whatever application name you will be having in load balancer, right? That same name you should put here. Load balancer name you have to add here. So how it will function, we will see. Instead of giving actual path, load balancer path we need to give here. How it will work? First we will Netflix Eureka gateway. I think this is only we are using cloud gateway. No, I don't think these are open source, right? I don't think cloud gateway. Utility Spring Cloud Gateway. So this is a starter that we are using. In latest version, if you go to initializer, you may see here. is available. I think it is Spring Cloud Gateway. Okay, like Eureka only. Okay, we need load balancer, right? Eureka server. So this is the dependence. Spring Cloud Netflix Eureka. For client, you can use Eureka Discovery Client. If it is client, you need to add this dependency. In 3x, it is available, right? I don't see they removed it. Okay, gateway. This is gateway. Okay, let's try to understand the concept. If there are alternatives, they must be similar to it. So, as a concept wise, if you get it, it will be similar. So, when you registered your service, product service into Eureka, so this is a gateway application. So, you need to have one Eureka server. For that, we just put enable Eureka server. By default, it will run in 8071 or 8073, I think. So, there we need to register it. We need to create one microservice with enable Eureka server, and we should start it. As soon as you start your microservices, if all your microservices are using enable discovery client or Eureka client, you say Eureka client, and if you registered them, right, all these application ports are going to register into Eureka with your application name. Let's say if you put application name product hyphen service with product hyphen service, it will register your three ports 9090 and 9091 and 9092. Three ports will be registered into Eureka. Eureka will keep your information in handy with Eureka. Whenever you register, right? All three ports, whenever you start port 9090, 919, 9091, and 9092, all these ports one by one will be registered with your service name. Now, like this, you can configure all your microservices which are running in multiple ports. Let's say you have a product service, you have customer service also. If it is running in different ports, maybe same port number you can have. If it is a different machine, as we are using same machine, maybe 9190, 9192, 9191 or 9192. Let's say this is also available in three ports. You can register that three ports into Eureka. Eureka will hold this information as well. This must be Eureka client. So when it is Eureka client, now these ports also will be getting registered here. Customer service with all three ports will be registered. From Eureka dashboard, we can see them. By default, they give an Eureka dashboard. The default dashboard will be available. When you load the dashboard, you can see all the registered service with their ports. Customer service will be hosted and registered into Eureka. So what it will do once after registering, if you use Eureka with the gateway combination, now onwards, gateway will not refer direct URLs. So the gateway is required here between my front ends and back ends. So here I have web front end and I have mobile UI or REST client. They want to call product service or customer service. So as we discussed, we map them to gateway first. We map them to gateway first. Gateway also need to be registered with Eureka. Gateway also must be registered with Eureka. Let's say for gateway also you have load balancing. In case if you have multiple ports, you can register here. But yeah, that will be confusing. So I have a gateway. You can enable Eureka client here. Enable Eureka client here also, so that it will be registered here. This one also will be registered here. Client only. Your gateway also should be a client to the Eureka. What is the benefit to the client here? Not only registering your services, you can get information from Eureka as well here. Your services will be registered here. That is one thing. Your services will go on self-register. Okay. So when you mention this Eureka service URL within your application, as soon as you start, they will go and register into Eureka server. This is like a naming directory. As soon as you start, it will go and register there, because we will provide Eureka server URL here in this local right product service. We will mention Eureka where actually Eureka running, right? Eureka server URL we will mention here. So as soon as you start your microservice, it will go and register there. Eureka service URL we will put across all our services. The benefit is they will register here for load balancing purpose. All the services will be registered into Eureka for the load balancing purpose. Whenever you want to call any of your service, now onwards you need not to depend on your port numbers. You can directly use with the name, whichever name you have used to register in Eureka, right? With the name you can call your backend. With this name you can call your backends. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Not only registering, it can get the information also from Eureka. Gateway need information. What information? Which service is running currently? Earlier directly I mapped it. Earlier directly I mapped it to one port directly. If it is running in 9090, I mapped it. I could able to map here directly, or I could able to map here directly. Consider if 9090 is down, which is running in 9090 host, it went down. There is a problem happened here, and here also some problem happened to that host. They went down, and automatically gateway need to switch to next port. But alone gateway can't switch. Alone gateway can't switch to next available port or next available host. We don't know about that. When something is down, it is not aware that what is the next available service. So it will approach Eureka. Eureka will suggest gateway which is the available service currently running. As all your services are getting registered with the service name and ports, right? In case if one port is down, Eureka continuously will monitor them. In case if this port is down, Eureka will suggest to gateway go to the next port, next available port. If this is also down, it will suggest go to the next available port. Automatically it will switch your request to next available port, so that you will not see any problem in your gateway. Though one service, one host is down, the next available service will be available, will be provided to you via Eureka. Eureka will do that job. Okay. Whereas directly gateway can't do that. So as Eureka is doing that job, you need to collect that information from Eureka only. Gateway need to register for that scenario. As it is registered into Eureka, Eureka will supply the sufficient information to you. Which information? The available service information. That is what I am saying. So now onwards in Eureka, instead of directly configuring your product service localhost, if it is running in 9090, you need not to configure it in gateway. Instead you do it, you just put load balancer / product service name only. When you configure with name with the load balancer, LB stands for load balancer. Load balancer, it will request load balancer for product service. It will ask Eureka, what is the available host. Now Eureka will tell go to 9090 or 9091 or 9092. That's how it will balance the load. In case if one host is busy, it will redirect your request to next port. A round robin formula it will use to send them. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Gateway port also will be registered. Gateway also running in one port, right? 5000. See, there is no purpose. There is no purpose of registering. But I want to become a client to collect the information also. Getting right? So I want to be a client as a gateway. I want to be client to Eureka to collect the information. When you become a Eureka client, not only registering your ports there, you can collect the information also from there. Even your product service can collect information of customer service. Let's say from product service, actually that is not legal. Via gateway only we call. But in case from product service to customer service, if you want to make a call directly using customer service name, you can call it without customer service host or port numbers. You need not worry about them. Whatever host they use or whatever port they use, you will be use customer service name only in product service. If you use customer service name only, that means you are registered into Eureka. Eureka will check when you use service name as a customer service. Eureka will identify that okay, product service wants to connect with customer service. Let me provide the available port. Eureka will provide that port to your product service. So the benefit with Eureka clients is they can register their ports here as well as they can collect whichever services they want via just service names like gateway how it is fetching via load balancing call and product service. In case if you want to make direct calls from one service to another service, you can make a call, but that is not legal. As soon as you have gateway, you can make all your calls via gateway instead of doing direct calls. But in case if you need that information, you can get it via Eureka client. I mean Eureka server. Now let's see. Instead of configuring these ports directly via Eureka, we will configure them and see how this load balancing will work. Let me let me start Eureka server and register my services there. So Eureka I configured for in the port number 8761 and the dependency added here is Spring Cloud Netflix Eureka server is getting added here, and we are enabling Eureka server. So just to start it, as of now no clients are created for it. Excuse me. Yeah. Sure. So the Eureka service is having web dependency and Netflix dependency. Netflix Eureka server. That's it. And I mentioned here server.port 8761 and two additional parameters are configured. Uh, Basically, Eureka itself, do you want to become a client like that? We configured them. So I said no, false and false because it's a server. It is not going to be a client. And enable Eureka server mentioned to make it as a server. That's it. This server is running in port number 8761. So just Eureka server is started. So just Nothing added for now. Eureka server is ready. That's it. 8761. This is the Eureka server dashboard, default dashboard given in Eureka server. So as soon as you load it, you see nobody registered here. Instances currently registered with Eureka it is showing nothing. No instances are available. Just Eureka server started and giving my system information also here. Number of CPUs, available memory, IP address, and status of Eureka. Okay. Now no services are registered here. You need to register them. You need to register your services there. Yeah. Of course, yes. Yeah. Instead of actuator, if Eureka available, you can see. If Eureka not there, then you need to depend on actuator. And while using Eureka, hmm, huh, actuator not meant for Eureka. Sorry. In actuator we don't have Eureka, but while using Eureka, I think you need to add actuator compulsory in your uh, client applications. Your client application should have actuator. Via actuator only, Eureka will get to know each time which service is running. So during, not for the server doesn't require, clients require. I want to know health of services. I want to know this service health, this services health. So for this services, actuator need to be added. Eureka is getting registered with all these ports, right? Continuously, Eureka should monitor which service is running. Is it up or down? His health is okay or not? So your client should have enabled actuator so that Eureka will call internally the actuator and it will identify whether your service health is good or not. We will see. Now Eureka is started. First thing that you need to register all your services. Let's say only product service we will work now. Product service ports I want to register into Eureka. So to register them, you need to add Eureka client dependency. You need to add Eureka client. Add this Eureka client dependency in your application. And as I said, actuator also you can add. Okay. So now let me try to add into my product service first. I'm adding now Eureka client. Okay. Eureka client. What else I said? Actuator. Two more dependencies I'm adding. Next. I didn't get you. Without adding new project. Within the project itself, there is a starter option here. Spring add status. Yeah, automatically it is getting building. Yeah, if not auto build, you need to build. Add new status. Not required. Auto build is executed. Yeah. Let me shut down. Here it will show na. No, no, it is showing it right. Build progress. In ID, it will show always build progress na. Build automatically option is enabled. Automatically your project will get start building. Okay. Yes. Sometimes it will update if your cache memory is not available. Sometimes it may not trigger it. So you need to do in that scenario. You have to go yourself and you need to run clean and build. Now see the dependencies which we added here. Eureka client is added and actuator also added along with our web dependency. This is the web dependency that we have previously and actuator and Eureka client also added. Here we have major version. No, from this major version, whatever child versions available that it will pick automatically. 3.1.5 is the major version. From that version, it will pick the client version, whichever is up to date version we have. Correct. This is what majorly it will consider. Spring Cloud version we have a separate version here. Um so when you mention Spring Cloud versions, it will refer to this one. Yeah, yeah. So now, as I added it, it should become a Eureka client. Okay. So to become it as a Eureka client, we need to give that Eureka service path here. Eureka URL we need to give, and we need to make it enable Eureka client here. So just after dependencies, add this Eureka available path here. So this 9090 port is going to register into Eureka, and you can enable Eureka client. Enable discovery client must be enough. So enable discovery client. Now perfectly it will go and register into Eureka. You may run Eureka server now. See Eureka dashboard. As of now, no instance is getting registered here. Yeah, I didn't run. So as of now, no client is registered here. Now you can run your product service client, which is running in 9090, and see will it get registered there or not. Starting. Okay, so it is getting started. Now you see it is showing one application status. Application unknown it is saying, because no name you have given, just it is getting registered here 9090. whichever is running in 9090. Now to give the name, you need to give context path. Let me put that application name. Use this one, spring dot application dot name, to mention the name. So your service name is product service. Any name you can give, whichever is suitable. So product service. Not really. This is application name. Again, context is different. Servlet context path we need to give. That is different. Okay. Now you may. This is Eureka server. Product service. Is it restarted? See, I don't think. You may shut down and restart your product service. Now it will register with the name product service. Self registration. See, Eureka is having no job with your service. Eureka, just it will start and it will get registrations. As soon as your service is ready, you need to do self registration. So to do that self registration, you need to give Eureka service path. Automatically your application will go with this name and with your current URL, wherever it is running currently. It is running in localhost 9090. It should go and register, na? It should go and register. It should go there and register. No, Eureka, it's a default service already started. Eureka is a default service which is running in 8761. You don't need to implement anything. That's not your controller, that's a server. Already we added dependencies, right? There we have all the implementation. That's not a controller path, okay? That's your Eureka server path. So we have given this Eureka server path, default path, which is running in 8761. So product service will be registered there. If I start, okay, run your product service, it should be registered. Now just go and refresh it. No instance. Yeah. Now product service is available. Product hyphen service is available in 9090. So what I will do, I will go to my product service and I'll start it in one more port. Run as, run configurations, hyphen hyphen server dot port is equal to 9091. I'll run one more instance. So one more product service is getting started in 9091. You can refresh it. Now you can see it is showing product service available instances 2, and both are up. 2 are up. One is in 9090 and one is in 9091. Now in two ports it is running 9090 and 9091. In case one more instance also, if you want to make it available, you can run 9092. Not Maven command. No, that is a runtime argument. Now you can emergency Eureka maybe incorrectly climbing instances. They're not renewals are lesser than threshold. Maybe explore it. Default must be 2, I think. Renews, which means maybe instances that you can make it available. Oh, gone. Okay, automatically it renews now too. Default threshold is 2. Automatically it upgrade to 8 now. Good. So now available instances 9092, 9090, 9091. Three ports are available now. Now how I can access this product service via my gateway? Let's see. Go to gateway application and add, already must be available, right? We commented it out. Let's enable it. Eureka client. Enable Eureka client. Yeah, already dependencies are there. I'm enabling them. You can choose the current version wherever. I think this is old project, that's why I'm just continuing it. While you are doing, you can pick all the latest while creating your project. You can add latest Eureka client. You can add latest Eureka server. Okay, it is available in latest also. You can pick any version. As I don't have any dependencies, I'm using whichever versions I want. Basically, they never force us. Yeah, this is the one 2021 we are using. There it is 202 2022. No, these are starting with Spring Cloud. Na? The Spring Cloud are picking these cloud versions. Spring Boot are having Spring Boot versions. Spring Cloud will pick the cloud version dependency. Yeah, we will talk about that versions. Okay, just time being focus on this one only. Okay. Yeah. Now, so your gateway is enabled, so you can see now if I start the gateway. Earlier we were picking up with the URL. Now it is running in product services is running in 9091, 9092 as well. So I need to pass the gateway path here. L gateway path, not gateway path. It should be your load balancer reference name. Something I modified. Oh, load balancer colon double slash your application name. Application name which is registered in Eureka as part of your URI. Configure here load balancer. Correct, correct. My local file version I'm checking. So it will be available in local only. Na? Go to team local history. It will show your data. Sometimes when you feel that I lost the data, modifications whichever I did, when you feel you lost, You go to local history, you can able to find them. Okay. Now load balancer application name I given here with the load balancer column. So as soon as you mention load balancer, the load balancer path did I enable? Oh, so this Eureka also you need to enable. Something like your client URL. So just mention this Eureka as well. Okay. So as this is also a client, it will go to Eureka, identify your product service, and it will ask Eureka which is currently available, the one which I should pick. So then it will suggest either it should go to 9090 or 91 or 9. Now onwards, if I start it, configuration bean factory metadata. Throws exception, configure metadata. Let me see. Did I added anything extra? Okay, I think I have to disable this and this. Yeah. If we go with the latest one, then there is no confusion. As I picked a lot of versions while it was not working, I commented them. Now see whether it can able to start or not. Yeah, now it is started. Okay. Now you know what to do. If you refresh, you can see the gateway URL also. It is 500 available. Now when I trigger it, 500 uh, product service, here it is, right? Yeah, product service. If I trigger it, I'm getting response. So I don't know which port is running. It is picking a port, available port, and giving the response back. Maybe if you want to see which port is running, whether it will show here in the console. If I put some logs, I can maybe I can able to observe dynamically which port it is picking. If I can able to print, I can able to see which is running. Let me try that. How to get the current environment property somewhere, controller somewhere I configured it to get the current running port environment dot. know in which environment it is running. So it is a backend call. Nothing. Just a minute. I'm getting data here. Nothing. Delegate. Somewhere I configured the port fetching port. Environment. Which one? Port number? Port number? No, we are doing it. Server dot port, right? Always server dot port we are using. On Eureka for. No, that is not gateway, na? That is not gateway to do the forwards. It will tell which is available. That's it. That is the only job for the Eureka. It will not get request into it and it will not forward. The job is just it. That's like address book. Eureka is like address book, which is the current available address. It will tell to gateway. That's it. No job other than that it will do. No code, nothing required there. Na? Just that will behave like a address book. Current available services, which is available, which is not available. It should tell. That's it. What I want to see is how to know current available port. How to know current available or running routing Spring Boot with the environment class. We can get it. Environment. Okay. Can somebody search? There is a property environment dot get port something or get property. Environment dot get property. Environment. I just want to show you which is picking dynamically. For now, it is picking them, but you don't know which one is. Stack Overflow. Environment is auto wide and local dot server dot port. This is the default environment class. They are saying it will be initialized. Okay, so that will hold the current port number. Let me shut down all three services, three ports which are running for product service one. Shut down. Product service 2, shut on it. Product service 3, 2 terminated. The third one also terminated. Okay. Let me go back to product service and add this property. Let me auto-wire it into controller and append it in the response so that you can see. Yeah, auto-wire environment variable. So local.server.port, current running port, it will return to you. What I will do, so not legal. I'll create one more object here and I'll add it to the list. So in case of name, port I will add. One more extra object I will add to the list. Correct. The current environment object it will auto-wire, and all your environment properties you can fetch it from here. Get property, you can give keys here and fetch the properties. Now gateway is running, Eureka is running, product services are terminated. Let me start product service now. So the default port number it is 9090. So which is there in properties file. If I go back to Eureka, so it is showing API gateway running in 500 and this is running in 9092. Okay. By default, it is picking up available run configuration port. Okay, let me give 9090 as well and run. Let me run one more service. Run configurations 9091, 9092 and 9091. Now it is running in 3 ports. 2 already registered. Third one also registered. Fine. Now I will call this gateway via gateway application. I'll call my product service and it is showing port number 9091. The response is coming from 91. Refresh it. Now response is coming from 90. Now it is coming from 92. See, dynamically it is switching. Eureka? Yes, Eureka. Eureka. Which coordinates you are talking about? To know which is running, to identify. No, now your code is running in through three ports. Okay, product service is running in three ports while giving response, just to know right ourselves which port it is using. So if I get that port, I can see from which server the response is coming back. Three servers it is running now. In server 9090 it is running, and 9091 it is running. In three places it is running, to know from where your response actually getting. Just in your object I'm adding appending port number, that's it. Just a dummy, one more property added, that's it. Okay, into the list, just to know which port it is currently. I'm calling gateway. Gateway will go back to your service, right? Which service it is picking up. In gateway I didn't mention any service. If you see your gateway application now, there is no service configured. Direct service URL not configured here. Just I given load balancer path. So from load balancer, it is picking up dynamically whichever port it requires, whichever port is available. Maybe it is for your current host, local host, your gateway host. Maybe not mandatory. You can remove that. Acha. You telling here it is registered. No, the name by default it registered as API gateway. The default name API gateway. Oh, no, not default. Here you have. Okay. Yeah. So this is how a gateway can dynamically switch to available port via load balancer. The benefit with load balancer, in case if one service is busy, it may, or in a round robin it is doing it. Uh, it is giving one request to 9090. Meanwhile, if any get request coming, going to 91. If somebody request during the same time, it may redirect to 92. So that request will be distributed to multiple services, so that you can distribute the load as well. If you have transactional operations, may be not recommended. For read operations, you can use it. Um let's say if your code is dealing with a table, here you are doing a CRUD operation. From other service also you are doing same CRUD operation on the table. There will be a chance that you may getting locked with while other port is getting updated a table. In such scenarios, you may see the problem. But this is the thing that you can apply in case if you want to apply load balancing for read operations or any load operations, you can use it. Yeah, that's it. No, not possible tomorrow. I'll conduct a workshop for larger audience. I'll invite everyone and I'll conduct. Actually, I am also busy with my changes. A lot of changes in my queue, so I need to deliver that. I'll be free maybe mid of November. I'm conducting Spring workshop there, 2 days workshop, Spring Boot and microservices. By the time we will be finishing these sessions, in case if you want to brush up one more time, you guys want to join, I'll think about it. If they permit, I'll allow there. Maybe you can brush up one more time. In 16 hours session, we'll be covering the complete content. Okay, and if they don't allow, at least the videos I'll make it available. Okay, yeah. 18th and 19th. 18th and 19th of November this month. Saturday and Sunday. 2 days workshop. Okay. That's it. No, no, no. I'll take separate workshop. Okay. Few more sessions. More. Maybe next 4 5 sessions we can conclude it. Security is left. Transactions is left. Okay. And mhm. Spring batch you asked. That is discussed, right? No, I'm not adding anything, but you can refer executor module, executor examples. You will find it in case if you need any help. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Mita. Hmm. Exactly. If Eureka is down, if Eureka is down, which is providing the address, if nobody to guide where it is running, gateway can't find anything. Hmm. It should be in gateway. Hmm. It should be configurable in gateway. So gateway should aware of it. If multiple zones, if multiple available, right? All that URLs you need to configure here. If one is down, maybe it need to pick the other one. Okay, maybe. Yeah. Hmm. This is the default one. Okay. Yeah, maybe. You can check with this property, or else let me see. Eureka dot client dot service URL with multiple ports, right? Just a minute. Let us see. Multiple zones, multiple zones configuration, server enable self provision, default zone. Okay, yeah. See here, this is configured with two different hosts. One is running in uh, 10.8.0.2, one is running in 10.8.1. If this is down, it may pick this one. And the default zone they are setting configured here. Yeah, maybe that is the purpose of it. Let me try. Let me try. Quickly we will do that. But the same host we are using, right? How I can differentiate? No, no, that I get it. As my question is, let's say we have two default zones up to port number, it will accept or not. 8062, 8762 is one more available Eureka. Your local host means both are running in local host only. same server. Maybe I may need to give the default host. See, yeah, the problem we need to understand. I can't give multiple ports here. Same port only I should give. Maybe with a different host. Currently, as I am running in my local host only, as we have this IP, only one IP. Local host means your IP here. If I have one more server, maybe if I have one more laptop connected in the network with public access, I need to put that public IP here and need to run on the same port. Okay, this is for gateway. Acha. So gateway, when I give the host here, my local host one, always by default it will point to this host. If this host is not available, it will go to the next host. But this next host also should get registered all your clients, isn't it? All your clients need to be registered in this host as well. So for that, what you need to do, your service like product service is there, it should be registered into two hosts, correct? Here also you need to configure multiple there. Same like yeah, same like this one, comma separated. You can put. We will see that tomorrow. Okay, I understand the context. I think